Hi, that was weird. So it's been over a year since I've been using the DJI Pocket 3, and in that time, I have loved using this camera, and I found some really cool use cases with the Pocket 3 as well as some weird quirks about the camera, because I always find year-long reviews are just way more accurate and dependable versus reviewing a product after 2 weeks of just using it. And so let's go ahead and talk about the DJI Pocket 3 1 year later. Now, full disclaimer, DJI is sponsoring this video, but all they really want is for me to share my actual user experience with the Pocket 3, all the good, all the bad, and everything in between. And so we're gonna do just that. And I'm gonna break this video into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Image quality, audio quality, and overall user experience. 3 parts. First, let's talk image quality. I have been really impressed with the image quality of the Pocket 3. I mostly film 4K 10-bit video in D-Log-M, which gives me the flexibility to kind of match the footage shot with my other Sony cameras. It's not perfect by any means, but the fact that I can film in D-Log-M makes it a little more possible. Now, real quick, I wanted to compare the DJI Pocket 3 with a similar camera that's small, that can film 4K video, and a camera that can fit in your pocket, and that's the iPhone 16 Pro. And I know it's not an equal comparison, but I figured what better camera to compare the Pocket 3 with than a camera that a lot of people have. All right, so we're in New York, and we're just gonna do a quick comparison between the Pocket 3 and the iPhone 16 Pro. Obviously, the Pocket 3 is gonna be a lot more steadier because it's an actual gimbal, and this is an iPhone. But I just wanted to show you just the difference of image quality. There it is, Bagel Pub. One of our favorite places in the city. Maybe we should try more bagel places next time. Expand our horizon.
Yeah, the place is all right, but
I'm sure there's more. Now, to be honest, both the Pocket 3 and my iPhone shot some pretty clean video. And just getting real, there are times when the iPhone looks better than the Pocket 3, and there are times when the Pocket 3 looks better than the iPhone, and there are many times when the Pocket 3 and the iPhone don't even compare to the footage shot on my Sony camera, so really it depends on how you film your scene. And as far as stabilization goes, both the Pocket 3 and the iPhone have great stabilization. Obviously, the Pocket 3 is a camera gimbal, so footage is going to look really smooth because it's a literal gimbal. The digital stabilization on the iPhone is very good as well and definitely usable in a pinch, but if I had to choose one camera to film steady, smooth gimbal shots, then of course it's gonna be the Pocket 3. As far as low light capabilities, the Pocket 3 isn't really the best. Like, I don't really go beyond ISO 1600 with the Pocket 3 because beyond that, the footage does look a bit noisy, my face looks a little bit muddy. And so yeah, for low light situations, I don't really use the Pocket 3. Now quickly, let's talk about the audio quality of the Pocket 3. It's actually pretty decent. All right, so kind of facing the camera towards me, obviously it's gonna be way better with the Pocket 3 because I have the screen. Not so much on the iPhone if you're using the back cameras. I don't like using the front cameras because the quality isn't as good. But yeah, if I had to choose which is a better vlog camera, it's obviously got to be the Pocket 3 in this situation. But for most cases, I don't know, I feel like the iPhone does a lot of great stuff for a phone, you know? And obviously it's way easier to vlog with because it's the camera that's always going to be in your pocket. All right, now I gotta cross the street. Now it is a small mic, so it's not gonna provide you the best audio quality all the time. But if you do want consistent, clean audio, then you can use the DJI Mic 2 transmitter because the Pocket 3 can connect up to 2 transmitters at the same time. All right, so we are at Sony Creative Space, and look at all those people behind me just waiting in line to get in to play with the new Sony Alpha 1 Mark II. While I'm here talking about the DJI Pocket 3. But where the Pocket 3 really shines is that it can connect up to 2 DJI Mic 2 transmitters. That is so cool. And if you get the bundle that includes the DJI Mic 2 transmitter with the Pocket 3, like when you fire both of them up, like they'll connect instantly. Like it's that easy. And technically you can pair the DJI Mic 2 with an iPhone, but I found that the audio quality doesn't really sound good, if you know what I'm talking about. Like it almost sounds like too loud or too muffled. I don't know, it sounds odd. Or maybe I'm just not doing it right, I don't know. But when connected to the Pocket 3, the audio sounds clean. You can set parameters as well as audio backup, meaning that not only can you record audio on the transmitter, but you can have audio recorded on the onboard mic as well. And that's really great, especially if you're just looking for scratch audio from the Pocket 3. Like sometimes wireless products can get a little funky. And if the wireless product doesn't work, well, at the very least, you have the audio coming from the onboard mic of the Pocket 3. Hold on, I want to try something. This works with the Action 5 Pro, where if you press the record button on the transmitter, it'll start recording on the camera. So let's try it out. Okay, recording on the transmitter and not recording on the Pocket 3. So there's that. And finally, let's talk about my overall user experience of the Pocket 3 after a whole year. It's so easy, man. You rotate the screen to turn it on. You have a joystick to move the gimbal up, down, left, right. You press the gimbal 3 times so that you can film in selfie mode. 1, 2, 3. Press record just like that. See yourself as you're vlogging. And one of my favorite features of the Pocket 3 is active track. It's so cool. So for example, we're filming right now in my studio on the Pocket 3. If I move my head left and right, the camera is not going to follow me. But if I activate active track by double tapping on my face, if I move my head left, it'll follow me. Move my head right, it's gonna follow me. And this has been the way that I've been able to film myself by myself because of this feature. Like, it has made filming so much easier because of the active track on the Pocket 3. And like I've said before, it's super easy to film vertical video on the Pocket 3 by simply rotating the screen. Like, it is so easy. You are filming 3K video, not 4K, so just keep that in mind. I do find that kind of weird. Like, why can't we have 4K vertical video? But it's those features that have made life so much easier when I'm filming by myself. Also, I love the fact that you can control the Pocket 3 with your phone as well. Like in this scene over here, we used my buddy Chris's Pocket 3 on the hood of a car to get some cinematic car shots, but because it's connected to his phone, he was easily able to control the gimbal from within the car. And battery life, haven't had any issues with the battery life in the Pocket 3. I mean, I kind of film it whenever I need it. I don't film with it all day. So battery life isn't an issue for me. And also there's that little battery extender grip to extend the life of the Pocket 3. And so yeah, for me, I haven't had any battery issues with the Pocket 3. And if you're done with the Pocket 3, you put it into this protective case. Oh, by the way, you can attach little filters if you wanted. And to pack away the camera, I just simply insert it just like that, and then I can just toss it into my bag. I don't remember what bundle I got, but I have this case that carries a lot of accessories for my Pocket 3. So obviously here's the camera and the case. I also got the little tripod feet over here that I can attach to the bottom. You do have to use one of these things. I have a quick release plate for this one, but there's a bigger extender, which actually gives you more battery power when connected to the Pocket 3. This has a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom, and that's where I place the feet. Although I do wish the Pocket 3 itself, like the base of the camera, also had a 1/4-20 mount. Like, it just has a USB-C port, and you know, yeah, that's cool, but there's definitely room to add a 1/4-20 mount. So DJI, just add that in. But this is such a convenient little case to house everything. And so if you just wanted a simple, super minimal vlog setup, or if you don't really want to use traditional mirrorless cameras, you just want to roll with a Pocket 3, you can totally film awesome content with the Pocket 3 and all the accessories in this carrying case. And with that said, those are my thoughts on the Pocket 3 after a whole year. There's a lot of great things to love about the camera, and there's a couple of quirks that I'm not a big fan of, like the 1/4-20 mount on the bottom of the base of the camera itself. Like, that should be there. Like, I don't know why it's not there. Also, the joystick of the Pocket 3, it's not very smooth. It almost feels like one of those directional pads on a video game controller. Yeah, that tiny little joystick doesn't really create natural looking movement, so there's that. But just like any camera out there, the DJI Pocket 3 has its pros and cons, but still, it's one of my favorite cameras to use. And if you've used the Pocket 3 for a year like I did, then I would love to know what your experience was like. And also, for those of you that don't have the Pocket 3 and have more questions, then let me know in the comments below as well, and I will try my best to help you out. Except Saturdays. I play Call of Duty on Saturdays.